Hey crew, okay, so Bungie just released the update today that changed the Gerfalcon's Hardwork and how it interacts with void weapons and what it can do. So I wanted to get this video out to you guys really quickly because it's super broken and take advantage of it while you can, because I don't see how this remains the way it is. Like, what you're watching in the footage right here is just a normal lost sector, but you could be doing this anywhere. I ran the new Mars battleground today and oh my soul, it's insane what this can do. Okay, so what they did with the change was, see me, feel me, the armor perk here is your void weapons gain volatile rounds after you emerge from being invisible. So no matter how you emerge from being invisible, you get volatile rounds. And that's the crazy thing. Like, I really didn't wrap my mind around this until after testing it. And it's pretty crazy because you can go invisible from so many different sources. So when you are invisible and defeat a combatant while using a finisher, all of your weapons gain bonus damage. I assume that bonus damage is still like the 30-35% that it was originally, but you do have to be invisible and do a finisher to get that bonus damage. We're not really too worried about that anymore. The main thing is I just want you to understand how powerful this is with volatile rounds on a hunter alone. So you also, at the end of this, you and your nearby allies gain a reserve overshield and improved class ability regeneration. These reserve overshields can be deployed by using your class ability. So when you just pop your class ability, you'll get the void overshield. Same thing with your fire team members if they're with you. But the main thing here is your void weapons gain volatile rounds after you merge from being invisible. So in the gameplay you're watching, we're using the Wilder Flight grenade launcher with repulsor brace. So now, yep, if you add repulsor brace to any of this stuff, you're gonna have infinite void overshields as well. So the sword we're using is just a falling guillotine, a 1350, just a normal void falling guillotine. I tested this with Heart Shadow. I went with Commemoration, the heavy machine gun. I used the Unforgiven with Demolitionist and repulsor brace. I used the Doom of Chelchis, the scout rifle with explosive payload and repulsor brace. I believe the other half sword can even get repulsor brace on it too in the heavy slot. But I want you guys to understand that any void weapons, you don't even need repulsor brace on this like I'm doing with the sword. Any void weapons has this constant loop of volatile rounds, invisibility that you can just loop over and over. And then on top of that, if you add in the repulsor brace, now you have the infinite overshields that just last 4 days. But the main thing that makes this all work so well and makes it busted is the subclass on the hunter. So for the subclass here, you have two aspects. You have Vanishing Step. This just makes your dodge, makes you go invisible. So now we have a way that we can, on cue, go invisible and get the volatile rounds, which is just great. And the mods we're going to add to the build are what's going to make us loop this dodge. So we always have our dodge up to make sure that we always have a way of instantly casting and making ourselves become invisible. But the next one here is Stylus Executioner. Now, defeating a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. After performing a Stylus Executioner, your next melee attack while invisible weakens targets. But the main part here is defeating weakened, suppressed, or volatile targets grants invisibility. But with the Hunter subclass, every ability now is going to make us invisible. And here's why. I'm using Vortex Grenade on my Hunter, okay? And then if you throw on the aspect, Echo, or the fragment, sorry, Echo of Undermining, your Void Grenades weaken targets. So now when you throw that Void Grenade, it's weakening targets. That's a debuff. If the grenade kills something, you go invisible because of Stylus Executioner, because you defeated a weakened target. If your grenade doesn't kill something and left them weakened and you shoot them with a void weapon, you now defeated the weakened target and you go invisible. So now your grenade, if it kills something or if you kill something, your grenade tag is making you invisible. Next, we have the Smoke Bomb. Guess what? Throw a Smoke Bomb, which attaches to surfaces and pings enemy radar. Weakens targets on detonation. If you throw that Smoke Bomb on an enemy, it goes off, it's weakened them. Guess what? You kill them with your Void Weapon, you're invisible, volatile rounds all over again because of Stylus Executioner, because we weaken them. And then what we're going to do is add 3 fragments to this to make it even better. So Echo of Persistence, void buffs applied to you, invisibility, overshield, and devour have increased duration. We're going to have invisibility, overshields, and devour if you're using repulsor brace with this build all the time. Our next one here is Echo of Obscurity. Finisher final blows grant invisibility. So now your finishers make you invisible. So your grenade makes you invisible, your melee makes you invisible, your finisher makes you invisible, your dodge makes you invisible, and your killing anything that's debuffed with your void weapon is going to make you invisible to get that volatile rounds on it. We already went over Echo of Undermining to have that on your class. But lastly, we have Echo of Starvation. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Devour. So you just throw on the Harmonic Siphon on your helmet, so a void weapon double kill will create that Orb of Power. So now you're running around with full Devour, full Overshields, and full Weakening all the time, and with volatile rounds on top of it, because you're going to get your grenade back so fast for weakening and volatile rounds. So this works with any void weapons. I'm talking like the Heart Shadow Sword, right? Fallen Guillotine Sword, Commemoration, anything void, void rocket launchers, void grenade launchers, whatever you want to run, void, this works with. In your secondary, if you can throw on anything with Repulsor Brace and void on top of it, it just adds that much more to it because you're granting yourself that overshield. So in harder content, that overshield is going to come in clutch because that is 50% damage reduction on your character all the time. And then in your primary, you run whatever you want. But for your subclass, set it up that way. Now for the mods, if you want to take it even further, again, solo operative from the artifact. If you're running solo, you really don't need the weakening mod anymore, but you can throw the weakening one on from the artifact as well. But in your class item, we're going to run elemental time dilation. This means any elemental mods that grant you time limited benefits can now stack, increasing the duration of the effects for each copy of the mod you have equipped. And we're going to throw on Well of Tenacity. Well of Tenacity here is picking up a void elemental well reduces the damage you take from combatants for a short period of time. That's again another 40% damage reduction on top of everything else, and we're making it last longer with elemental time dilation, so a good 8 or 9 seconds. And then we have Font of Might on as well, so we get that 25% weapon bonus damage to all our void weapons, and that lasts for a good 15 seconds because of elemental time dilation. We're going to throw on Weeping Wellmaker. After activating your class ability, your next weapon final blow on a combatant spawns a void elemental well. So that's how we're proccing our Font of Might and our Tenacity, is every time we dodge and then kill something, we're going to spawn 2 wells, and we're going to spawn 2 void wells because we have bountiful wells on our helmet. Elemental well mods that cause you to spawn elemental well mods can now stack. So now we're spawning 2 void elemental wells every time we come out of a dodge. You're activating your Font of Might and your Well of Tenacity for a good amount of time, and the rest of the mods for the build just go on top of that. You can run whatever champion mods you need, anything else you want. 100 resilience, as high as discipline as possible, and as high as mobility as possible. But you really don't need much with this build. I'm saying just void weapons, the right aspects and fragments that we already went over, and then Gerfalcons. That's all you need. And this build is top tier. Like, this is the most broken I've seen a hunter in a long time. Like, when Void launched and you could get volatile rounds for like 19 seconds because of the artifact mod, they were pretty good at that point. But this just makes it crazy because now we have Repulsor Brace and we can on top of it, and it's just, it blows my mind that this is released the way it was, and I don't know if it's going to be changed or fixed or not. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I'm rambling or if my commentary is all over the place, because it's just a live recording that I did to get this video out to you guys, because I want you to give it a try and make sure you use it before any change happen to it. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching my content. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.